Konnichiwa, and good afternoon. My name is David Colby. I'm the Director for Strategic Planning at Actknowledge and a board member at the Center for Theory of Change. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today via video about theory of change generally and some of the work that we do, as well as a few thoughts on the work that we want to do with the Theory of Change Japan partnership. Actknowledge is a social enterprise that is recognized worldwide as a leader in the development, training, and practice of the theory of change methodology. We seek to connect social change practice with rigorous study of how and why initiatives work. Actknowledge joins with community organizations, nonprofits, foundations, non-government organizations, and government in efforts to transform traditional institutions, public spaces, and the environment. The Center for Theory of Change is a nonprofit organization established to promote quality standards and best practices for the development and implementation of theory of change, with a particular focus on its use and application in the areas of international development, sustainability, education, human rights, and social change. Both of these organizations are based at the Graduate Center of the City University of New York in New York City, and we're part of the Center for Human Environments, which allows us to benefit from the resources of the university while retaining our independence as a social enterprise. Over the years, as a theory of change facilitator, I've had the opportunity to work with many different organizations in many different sectors worldwide. Part of the challenge to the work that we do is getting organizations to think differently, to pull out logical pathways of outcomes rather than discussing activities. At the heart of theory of change is the definition that it is a comprehensive description and illustration of how and why a desired change is expected to happen, and in a particular context. It fills the narrative gap between planned results and activity implementation. It describes in simple and logical terms how the program objectives are reasonably expected to be achieved with given inputs. The result is usually very favorable in a change in thinking and a change in planning. Organizations of every social sector use theory of change effectively as a roadmap of their outcomes to show how they will get to where they want to go and what it takes to get there. They use it as a basis of an agreement or buy-in of all the partners necessary and shows what needs to happen and who does it. They use it as a framework for implementation to build a strategic plan based on getting to outcomes, talking about specific required interventions and actions to support those outcomes. They use it as an ongoing check-in, as a management tool to see if they're on track. And finally, because theory of change has an indicator for every outcome in a framework, they use it as a basis for a monitoring and evaluation system. Another important aspect of theory of change to mention in this very brief introduction is about how theory of change is being mandated around the world by large organizations and governments. We're seeing this, for example, in 2015 with the Netherlands that issued administrative rules around grant proposals. To receive a grant under certain social sectors, particularly around work with children and youth, they require a full theory of change in the grant proposal. They cited the Center for Theory of Change in terms of what is expected, and we're finding it more important than ever to help define what those standards are when they're being used. We're also seeing this mandate with larger organizations that are doing smaller grants. We see, for example, the United Nations with UNICEF requiring a theory of change. We're seeing the USAID or USAID requiring a theory of change, and others. What's important to us is that the standards for theory of change are clear, and it is a full theory of change and not a rehash of a logic model or something or other like that. So it's important, as we talk about work in Japan, to come in with the highest standards of what theory of change should be. And I look forward to the new partnership that's been created, the Theory of Change Japan, and we will be coming in January to work with you. Hopefully many of you in the workshop today will attend at least one of the meetings we'll have in January. And we would like to bring more materials to Japan, have them translated. We would like to answer questions, and more importantly, we would like to help organizations directly and initiatives directly to achieve the results they are seeking, to reach their outcomes and their goals by using theory of change. Enjoy the workshop today. I hope that you got something out of this very brief introduction, and I look forward to meeting you all in January. Thank you.